Hey there, this is Nicholas Ewing. I'm going to be doing my project on opal because opal is the most gorgeous mineraloid in the world. I'm going to be explaining to you the process of opal from when it comes out of the ground up into a beautiful cabochon on a piece of jewelry. So first of all, opal comes from a variety of different countries. The Wela region of Ethiopia, they come from Mexico, and they come from Australia. There's a couple mines in Australia. There's Cooper Pedy, there's Mintabee, and then there's Lightning Ridge. And Lightning Ridge is the most well-known mine, and it often yields the best opal. So I'm going to be talking about Lightning Ridge opal as my example. So the Lightning Ridge mine is a 9-mile long seam of opal-rich sediment, and it was made millions of years ago from ancient river bodies that were going east to west, continually washing silica-rich sediment through the seams within the mudstone underneath, often sandstone as well. And over time, these little cavities in the sediment will just continually get washed through with silica dioxide and then eventually form into the beautiful opal that we love today. Lightning Ridge opal is mined at an average depth of about 3 to 4 meters deep. Other opals like those from Ethiopia are generally kind of a knobby opal, forming sporadically in all types of shapes and sizes, but Lightning Ridge is seam opal. It's valuable because it's long and flat, and it's really economical for producing gemstones. Now, potch is the glassy substance surrounding opal, and in Lightning Ridge this potch is usually dark, and sometimes it's even black. And this black opal is worth the most because the colors of the opal shine very brightly against the contrasting black potch that cutters will often leave below the stone. So it's carefully mined out of the ground, no dynamite or anything like that because opal is so fragile. Once it's extracted, a lot of it is cut open to kind of assess the value, and then it's sold to opal cutters. And opal cutters are people who cut opal into different shapes for jewelry, and they sell the opal polished and beautiful. So I'll tell you how they make the most popular shape, which is called a cabochon, and it's basically a oval shape that's highly polished. So after they analyze the stone and find the best possible size for the cabochon, they slowly start to etch out a rough shape with a cutting saw, a diamond tip cutting saw. Of course, this all has to be done wet because opal is very sensitive to heat. You can burn the stone and affect the color greatly. Now, once they get the general shape of the stone, most opal cutters are lucky enough to have a cabbing station, which is just a couple large wheels with different grits of abrasive material, usually diamond dust. They're usually called nova wheels. And they begin to form the dome of the stone. And after that, they kind of make their way up in grit all the way to about 1500, which at that point it's polishing, and they often use cerium oxide to polish these stones. With the diamond wheel, it seems pretty simple. They kind of use a spongy wheel, and if you're doing it by hand, you'll have to use a strip of leather with your cerium oxide. So after this point, you've got a nice opal cabochon, and you're ready to auction it off to jewelry makers, or I think if you're smart, you'll want to mount it into some jewelry yourself and sell that jewelry. The value of this cabochon is going to be determined by a couple different factors. First of all, there's body tone, and the darker body tone is generally more valuable because it, contrasts those colors brightly. The body tone is measured on a scale from N1 to N9, N1 being the darkest, at which point it's black opal, which is worth the most. Then, of course, there's color play. When you spin the stone around, it should be visible from all angles if you want it to be worth a lot, and there should be an interesting pattern. Certain patterns sell for a lot more money, like Ethiopia's honeycomb pattern. Then, of course, you've got the brightness of the actual pattern itself, which generally ranges from vivid to subdued, and of course, the brighter the pattern, the more valuable it is. On a side note, the color red is highly valued, and any valuable opal should include some reds in it, though it doesn't have to. So I do have to issue a disclaimer with this video to avoid opal at all costs. It has addictive properties, and many people call that the opal bug. Once you have it, your wallet will empty, and you'll be filled with pipe dreams of being a jeweler. That's all I've got to say about opal. Thank you very much.